get my state connected with yours and like across all across India. So it was really wonderful. And thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, dear participant, already we are running behind time. So, without wasting the time, now our resource person already joined 10 minutes back. I saw his name when it's green. Professor Ajay Kumar ji.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, please on your video so that we can start the class.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Sir, little more to your camera. Your half face is only visible. Yeah. Now it is okay. So, welcome, sir, in the Mizoram University HRDC, this fifth FIB program. Dear participant, we are very happy after the first excellent lecture. Now we are going to shifting to the second lecture. Professor Ajay Kumar Singh, sir is a professor in Department of Education in Assam University, Silchar. Very expert in the education field, published many papers, many report, and he is a very active educationist. Basically, sir belong to the UP. So welcome you, sir, in the Mizoram University HRDC. On behalf of the Mizoram University and HRDC Mizoram University, I welcome you in this fifth FIP. And without taking much of the time, I am handing over the session to you. And sir, please, now you can share your presentation, and you can, now session is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very good morning to one and all. I am Ajay Kumar Singh from Assam University, Silchar.
1 minute, sir. Sorry, sir. 1 minute. Actually, I forget, sir. With me, we have Professor Bhagdendu Singh, Commerce Department. He is a co-coordinator of this UGC HRDC program going on. He is also present. Maybe you are seeing him in the screen. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you can see start, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very good morning to one and all. I am very much privileged and honored being participant of this FDP program. I am very thankful to Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mizoram University and other authorities of the university, especially our course coordinator, Dr. Manoj Kumar Verma. He is a deputy director also of Academic Staff College, Mizoram University, and Professor Singh, who is co-coordinator of this program. Actually, we all are stakeholder of this education system, and just a minute, sir. Actually, we all are a stakeholder of this education system. As we know, in any education system, there is a teacher, there is a student, there is a curriculum, and we are, as a teacher, we are reflecting on curriculum to streamline, to know our content matter, as well as to assess the things. As my topic is, it is very general. The topic of this interaction is educational assessment and evaluation, some fundamental issues and reflection. Before coming to this topic directly, as a stakeholder, we have very general and natural experience and many questions in our mind. Many times, as a teacher now and before as a student, we have many observations or many reflections. Sometimes we are blaming each other are not adequate or desired achievement. Sometimes we are blaming our education system is not responding, it is outdated, policy is not good, and so on. Sometimes we are blaming teachers also as a student or as a parents. If teachers are not teaching well, teaching learning evaluation process is not adequate, selection of teacher is biased, admission process is biased, and as a student also, students are not attending classes. These are the things, these are the natural observations or reflections we have. But when we see our life, our daily life, then we are taking many decisions very frequently. Suppose today also, all the stakeholders as well as I have taken so many decisions: when to wake up, how to uh, manage our time today, what are the to-do list, what I have to take in my uh, breakfast, which type of color of dress I have to wear today. And there are so many decisions we are taking very frequently. And these decisions are very natural and very easy for us. But there are certain decisions which are not so much frequent. But we have to take, we have to decide as a teacher, as a parent, as a stakeholder or member of society. We are taking some decision. How we are taking decision, and many a times we are blaming also. If this decision is not adequate, and this has to be done in that way. All these things we have a general observation, general reflection. Many times parents also and society also blaming us. The learning outcome of the students are not satisfactory. This education system, teaching learning has no impact. There is no change, not efforting, not putting so much effort in better achievement of the student. But now the question is why it is so? Why many a times our decision is not adequate, or we are not able to objectively predict the things. When we go through the complexity, what is education uh, and educational evaluation and how it is impacting our education system. Because in our teaching learning process, we are thinking ki there is a terminal outcome, achievement of a student. But we have never thought ki why it is so. Many times we are thinking ki as of now, the GER of higher education is around 30%. But if we going to find a research assistant or research associate for our project, we are not finding, we are not able to find adequate person. So why it is happening? What are the reasons behind that? And what we can do to improve our assessment procedure or evaluation system? Many times we are thinking ki, just we have to admit a student. There must be some teaching learning process, some instruction, and after that we have to take, we have to arrange examination system, we have to evaluate, and after evaluation we have to award marks, and then our job is over. But this is not so, and this is not uh, very simple also. If we want to change, if we want to help a student who is having a special need, so then many times just we are questioning, but we are not focusing on why it is happening and in what way we can able to improve the system of assessment and evaluation. Many times we are thinking achievement is a terminal goal, but if we think this evaluation as a process, then we can able to understand the complexity and what are the sub variables responsible for not getting adequate result. So today, because all of us are teacher, or maybe a teacher educator or researcher, so then definitely it is one of the important stake, one of the important variable of our teaching, learning, and research process. How we can able to measure what are the limitations, what are the process of measurement, and whether the measurement can lead to a good decision, adequate decision. Because every time we have to take some decision. As a teacher, we have to arrange our class, we have to arrange instruction. So for instruction also, we have to take some decision to teach that particular chapter or that particular concept, what approach we have to follow, what are the teaching learning strategy we have to adopt, and whether we have to adopt a general teaching learning strategy for whole class. Suppose after a period of time we are not getting adequate result, then what we have to do, whether we have to arrange a specific teaching strategy or learning approach to a particular student, or whether we have to just leave. So when we are looking into this te- certain variables which we can able to measure the student accurately, like basic sciences. We have lot many advancement. We can very objectively measure the movement of Earth or other planet of our solar system. But when we are thinking about human being, human behavior, we can measure the height, we can measure the weight very accurately. But when we are thinking about behavior, when we are thinking about uh, any other social variable or educational variable, then we are finding it is very difficult. Height we can measure, but suppose we have to measure whether what is the personality of a particular student. because we have to understand the student. As a teacher, when we have to instruct or we have to arrange our teaching learning process, then we have to all these are focus on student, how we can able to communicate today's teaching point effectively to our student. By doing so, we have to think whether they are prepared, well prepared, and what we have to communicate, whether there is any gap, what they know, and what I am intending to communicate. So for that, we need scale, we need measurement tool. Which tool, suppose intelligence or behavior, I have to assess. So then behavior, how we can able to define behavior or how we can able to define personality or value, whether paper pen test will be adequate to assess the cognitive ability, or it can be helpful to assess affective as well as psychomotor ability or skill also. Many times we are finding, or we are when we are preparing questions, then if we review the questions of our universities, then we are finding around 90% or more weightage is just knowledge level or some part understanding level. There is a hardly we can able to find any questions based on creativity or covering affective or psychomotor domain. And the question is whether we can use paper pen test to assess skills or emotions or any hand-on activity. Many times when we review the papers, not only at university level or in schools also, we are finding there is very less question or maybe less than 5%, which is covering analytical thinking, uh, can able to analyze the thing, can able to assimilate the thing, can able to give their opinion on that particular issue. Just and we are expecting ki after graduating or after getting degree of post graduation, the student has to fulfill the criteria of job market or in any area. So the things is ki what is the process where we are lacking, because with measurement and evaluation, measurement can give information. If we have better measuring tool, if we have more accurate scale or tool of measurement of a particular variable, then we can based on that information we can take some decision based on statistics and previous experience. We can decide, but measurement itself cannot take any decision. Suppose after teaching learning process in graduation or post graduation, we are arranging exam, and based on exam we are awarding mark. and based on that mark, we are thinking, and we classify also mark into grade. He has achieved this grade. So what does that grade means? Whether he is competent enough to reflect the content or objective of that PG course, whether he is having knowledge, skills, and other higher order skills to reflect that things, that objective of PG of that particular content. I don't think we are just awarding mark and mark awardment. Suppose we have 20 mark question. At a time we are awarding 10, but later on when we are evaluating other script, then we are thinking we have to give more mark to that previous script. And later on in second page or third page, if we have seen no, it has better consolidation, he has consolidated the things what is asked. So we have to award mark, but we are not at a time a 20 mark question we have awarded read 1-2 page and awarded mark, but we have not gone through last. And if we have awarded whatever mark we have awarded, so then at least if we write some comment based on that, we have given only 50% mark to a particular student. And when we are awarding 70% mark, and if we write that comment these are the positive points, because of that we have written, now we have awarded this mark. So then at least we can give feedback if these are the lights, because of that a particular person has given this mark, or particular person has given more mark. This is the only for knowledge and understanding, or a lower order objectives of cognitive domain. But what about affective and psychomotor? Whether the affective, suppose feeling, we have to measure feeling of a particular student or emotions. How we will measure? Whether it can be measured through paper pen test. It is accidental also. Every time we can't reflect feeling. If a particular situation arises, then accordingly we can get symptom or indication of particular feeling. So because of complex behavior, and many times feeling is not absolute. Suppose today, because of certain things, certain situation or information, suppose we have received some good news, then we will be happy. Happiness also. Today, if we search, we can get happiness scale, sadness scale, scale to measure emotion, scale to measure personality, even achievement. Achievement is a very common to all of us. But how we will define achievement? Whether that number is indicating achievement of a student, whether that can serve or that can help a teacher or a policymaker or a principal to take certain decision based on that achievement, because that achievement just measure knowledge and understanding in some cases. So whether based on knowledge and understanding, and that number also we don't know ki how reliable it is. Suppose if we send same script to 3 4 person of equal experience and mastery in their content, then we can get different mark. So whether that mark is reliable or based on that mark we can able to take decision, and we can claim that decision will be good or absolute or unbiased. I don't think. And you can also, everyone, I think most of the us are experiencing the same. So what we can do, how we can improve the objectiveness or unbiasedness in our evaluation system, education system. For that, we have to understand nature. What is the nature of measurement process? What kind of decision we are taking? What are the components who were responsible for uh, measurement process? Suppose a particular student is deciding that I have to apply in a particular course in a particular university. So how he can decide, or how his or her decision will be uh, nearer to reality. Suppose a student is desiring to apply in Harvard without knowing any background of her, or how there is admission process and what are the cutoff mark. Without knowing anything, if we are deciding or we are desiring we have to do this thing or we have to apply here, we have to guide student for a profession or for a employment, without knowing, how we can decide as a teacher or as a counselor or as a administrator. For that we need information and authentic information. If we are not able to collect authentic information which is required to fulfill that particular goal, unless we gather that authentic information, we are not able to mm, guide, we are not able, we are not in a position to suggest that particular student. Or suppose a student is weak, in spite of all effort he is not able to mm, reflect a level of understanding on particular subject, then what we have to do, definitely we have to diagnose why it is happening, why in spite of we are uh, giving same treatment to all the class, some of the students have achieved better and get better understanding while others are not. So that diagnosis we need to do, and in doing so we have to understand nature and complexity of particular variable. In sciences, no problem, because scientific variables can be controlled, can be replicated. But in social science, it is not so. because there are other factors also. Suppose in social science we have to understand social behavior or social competency, how we can measure, whether we can measure through paper pen or we have to follow a mixed approach to get authentic information, and based on that only we can able to suggest some remedy or can be in position to guide particular student. For that, if we go through the recent literature on assessment and evaluation, so then we can find there are different approach in NEP also. Because of this lag, we have to change our national policy, and many times it has been formulated right from 1964, 66, 86, 92, 2001, and now in 2022. Why it is needed to change that? Because there is lag, and we have a certain higher level objective. To achieve that objective, we have to overhaul not only a particular stake of our education system, but all the stakes has to have corresponding change. Then only we can able to achieve desired objective, desired goal. Because this NEP is totally focusing on SDG 4, and earlier policies we have involved in developing infrastructure, mapping schools, colleges, and university for better accessibility. But now we have to focus on quality, and quality quality is also not terminal product. If we think quality as a terminal product, then it will not serve the process. If you see, there are various sub component of quality. Whether many times we are using the quality, this university is very good, that course is very demanding, very much in demand, that teacher is very good teacher. So terming very good or quality teacher or quality course, quality instruction, quality university, we have to see what are the component of quality. Whether quality means getting a job, whether quality means getting admission in other higher education. What is quality? Because it has a different parameter. NAEC is accrediting institutions and colleges, but it is not absolute. There is a different parameter, different agency. Time is also a accrediting agency. QS is also NAEC is also, NIRF is also focusing on same issue. So quality is a process, not final product. In the same way, if we want to improve our teaching learning process, our evaluation process, then we have to understand it as a process. If the terminal product is not as expected, then we have to check the process, steps of process, where we are lacking. So if we see what are the process of measurement, then we have to identify what variable we are going to measure, and then whether we can able to define that particular variable in a specific, in a observable term. If we are not able to do so, if we are not able to identify variable, and we are not able to uh, identify the process component of that particular variable, we will not able to assess that variable, because without understanding, suppose गाड़ी का टायर है, तो टायर का क्वालिटी हम कैसे मेजर करेंगे? हाउ वी विल एबल टू मेजर द क्वालिटी ऑफ टायर? whether based on brand, based on durability, based on resistance towards puncture, how we will measure? So we have to fix, we have to identify the variable, and then we have to fix, we have to isolate attribute what we are trying to focus, what we are trying to assess. If we are not able to identify, and if we are not able to segregate attribute, then we will not able to assess that particular variable or perspective of a particular variable. And if we are not able to do so, then definitely our information will be faulty. Whatever we are getting information from faulty measurement process, then definitely that information, based on that information, if you want to take decision and high stake decision, then definitely it will not be nearer to reality. We cannot say we can absolutely take a decision on human resource. Like if we go through the selection criteria, our admission criteria, PhD criteria, our curriculum changes every 3 year, every 5 year, we are changing. Earlier we have annual system, in between semester system, now CBCS, and in this NEP suggesting interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, transfer of credit, and all those things. But we have to fix the criteria. What will be the criteria for transfer of credit? What will be the criteria of interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary? It must be logical, and there must be rubrics, sub criteria for all the papers. Suppose course objectives we have, when we are preparing curriculum for PG course in a particular subject domain. Now they are saying no need of any hard boundary. We have to break the boundary. With mathematics, you can take mass communication or fine art or economics. So what is reason behind that? Before 30, 40 years, uh, we have batted, there must be, if we want to get vertical advancement of knowledge, then there must be subject boundary, discipline of knowledge. And now we are batting, there is no need of any hard and fast boundary. So is there any research evidence, whether if we want to uplift ourselves in a vertical way in a particular subject domain, we have to focus only that, or there must be a phenomenological approach. Suppose I have to do this thing. To do that, what are the tasks, or what are the knowledge requirement, skill requirement needed from other discipline? So, we don't know what will happen. We are also in opinion. There must be, there must not be subject boundary. There are some evidence. There are some cases. ये बहुत अच्छे साइंटिस्ट हैं, बहुत अच्छे म्यूजिशियन भी हैं, गायक भी हैं, लेकिन ये कॉमन तो नहीं. दिस इज नॉट कॉमन. इफ यू आर thinking we have to improve our human resource because it is very much needed for the development of our country to cater the need, national as well as international need. We have to adapt changes accordingly to fit ourselves in national as well as international perspective. So accordingly, we have to change. We have to overhaul all our stakes which are responsible for education system. So that is why in context of NEP also, NEP is not focusing on content mastery. Now NEP is telling me there must be competency, not mastery. Content mastery is not enough. You have to have develop competency in that particular, and competition will not work. There must be cooperation. Then only we can achieve better and higher goal speedily. Otherwise, it will take long time. So, as a teacher, as a stakeholder of our educational system, we are interested in the responsibility of teaching learning. So, ultimately, we have to focus on how we can change, how we can inculcate values, how we can inculcate desired change in our student. For that, we definitely we need to improve our system of instruction. We have to take help of technology also, as well as we have to focus our instruction not only individually as a team also. If we are lacking somewhere, then we can take help from other who is competent enough or have better competency to deal that particular aspect. So that we need to. So for that we have to focus on nature and process of our uh, system of information which we are gathering, which we are collecting, and based on that information we are taking some decision which is in favor of a particular student or group or department or university and nation at large. So for that, if we see what we need to do, we have to identify that particular variable, and then we have to segregate attribute from that particular variable, especially in social science and humanities. In science, it is there. We can able to segregate specifically and with higher accuracy. But in social science and education or political science or humanities, we need to see what are the indicators that lead a better citizen, that lead a competent individual in a particular field. So that for that competency, we have to check out. We have to identify rubrics. What are the indicators for uh, better competency? And that indicator have to focus ki how and in what weightage. Suppose for competency in a particular subject, if we have able to identify 10 attributes, then what will be the weightage and what are the process of assessment? Normally, suppose we are measuring personality, then there are a number of tests. Projective technique is also there, non-projective is also there, case study is also there. But we have to test whether personality is dynamic or statistic. It is definitely it is dynamic. Our thinking, whether how we can able to predict a particular individual of so and so thinking can help become better citizen or can help society. So that we have to and thinking it is not statistics. As much experience, as much exposure we will get, accordingly our thinking, our thought process, our approach definitely will be changed. So then whether while assessing that thinking, personality, motivation, how we will able to motivate or how we will able to measure motivation, whether it is suppose there is a case, there are researches on teacher and teaching. Motivation is linked with extra pay, maybe 10% of income, can lead motivation, can have better involvement in that particular task. But how long it will work? It is very short-lived. If we are focusing on external motivation, then it will not, the duration of this motivation will not be longer. And if we have internal motivation, if we are internally motivated, then definitely it will work, it will long lived compared to external motivation. जैसे क्वालिटी का बात होता है, क्वालिटी इन एवरी स्टेज ऑफ right from schooling, secondary, higher secondary, every time we are talking about quality, how we can improve quality, whether we can improve quality with certain rule and regulation, whether if those rules and regulation will be imposed, then quality can be improved. We are seeing many of us are more experienced than me, definitely have every stage of our life, we have listened this quality improvement, but still discussion is on. We can, as a teacher, how we can able to improve quality, whether through better selection process, whether through better management of college or university, if authority is very strict, very particular, or if we all will be tracked and very specifically weekly followed up, then quality can be improved. Maybe to some extent, by doing so, by doing this exercise can be improved, but definitely whenever we will get chance, definitely it is a human nature, because if we study the human behavior, there are books. So then you can able to get what are the indicators. If these are the reflections, then definitely at uh, certain span of time we can predict. As of now, this is the behavior indicators. Accordingly, in that way we can decide. But absolutely we cannot, because behavior is also relative. Suppose many things, if we think psychological perspective, social perspective, then we can get different information. So which information will be helpful to improve the quality of teacher? So simply, if we think it is very biased and it is not objective, but suppose one want to know what is my demerit, what are the limitations. You can ask me through interview, through test, through observation, but there are many things I can able to hide that you cannot assess through maybe psychological perspective, maybe administrative perspective, maybe participatory observation. To some extent, you can get information, maybe 70%, not more than that. But 30% information or 40% information you cannot able to get accurately. That only I know, that individual know what is their limitations, what is their expectations. Many times we are expressing but not whole. So these are the limitations. Because of that, we cannot able to specifically predict the things based on a traditional information system, a traditional system of gathering information. So because of that, there is a provision of assessment board. Suppose I am biased to a particular student, but if there will be five people and five people are allowed to award mark, so then it can be. Or if we can have recorded interview, one group has to take interview, another group based on recording and all is allowed to award mark. Then objectivity can be enhanced, but 100% we can't sure. But there is no other way. So through assessment board, we can improve the subjectivity of gathering information. If we use multiple approach, suppose we have conducted some paper pen test, our student have written examination. So if we can interact, this is the question, what is your answer, what you have written. If he is specifically answering, then if a board decide or award, evaluate, then it can be a better way. Suppose if you have to assess skill, so paper pen will not work. Definitely, there will be hand-on activity, experimental approach will only work. So these are the things we have to follow. In process, definitely, again I am repeating, whatever we have to evaluate, we have to measure, we have to identify the variable. In research also, many times we are finding the operational definition of the particular term, like professional development. So if we think from where professional development initiated, what is the origin and what is the status, what are the available predictors or indicators of professional development, and in what way we can improve the process of assessing professional development or looking into professional development. For that, what will be the scale, whether it will be Likert scale or through structured interview, through focus group discussion, we can come to certain conclusion. And what will be the level of professional development, whether we are collecting data from 500 students randomly or teacher, and based on that statistics we can able to conclude, or we have to follow mixed approach. That is one aspect of gathering information. Then we can get information from experienced people, what they are thinking about professional development and what may be the indicator. And then we can get peer reflection, we can get expert reflection. If we can follow maybe self-assessment also. So self-assessment, peer assessment, by writing reflective journals. Suppose we have to teach one unit of particular content, and we have decided there may be 5 lessons, 5 hours. It will take 5 hours to complete that particular unit. So if every day what we have planned as a teacher, if we write our reflective journals, what happened during last 40 minutes or 45 minutes or 50 minutes. And same thing if student also writes about their experience, what they have expected and what they have done during 45, 50 or 1 hour of class. And if we analyze their reflective journal, then we can able to diagnose the things. We can definitely we can able to make out some lacks. And at the same time, if we analyze our reflective journal, or a group of experienced teacher or administrator can analyze, then they can suggest remedies for us also. Or if again we suppose first day what we have planned is not able to execute it by us, so then what we have to do, definitely we have to modify our plan, we have to change our approach. If students reflective journals through after 1 week or 10 days, if we have analyzed, then we can get information what we intended to communicate to our student in last week and how much we have succeeded. So based on that, we can change our strategy, we can change our approach, we can modify our system of instruction, we can take help to improve our communication so that a student can get that information and may help them to achieve better. In spite of that, a reflective journal will definitely help. Team teaching will definitely help. Group discussion or peer assessment will definitely help. Suppose peer assessment, if a student is claiming that no assessment is biased, some of the teachers are biased to particular student. So then if we take the opinion of, we can use sociometry also, who is the best one. If everyone rate every student, so then definitely we can come out with solution key who is the best. Like in high stake evaluation, we are getting seeing this in TV also. The best dancer, best singer. Maybe five will be equally good, but based on social opinion, the high stake evaluation is decided. और तीन चार बोर्ड भी डिसाइड नहीं कर पाता है उसको तो हम पेपर पेन से नहीं कर सकते हैं. That cannot be assessed through paper pen or through one man, through one teacher. Definitely it will be biased. So then if we involve more number of means assessment board, it is suggested in NEP also. If there is internship, there is skill related, value related. Suppose we have to evaluate what is which student have better moral value. So then what, it cannot be tested through paper pen. Definitely you have to observe, and based on indicators we have to note it, and you have to note it up to 6 months or 13 to 15 weeks. After that you can come to certain conclusion based on punctuality, honesty, cooperativeness, social service. So based on that, these may be the indicators to assess the moral value. If a teacher has to depute and it has to observe the class, teacher as a mentor, and then based on that we can get the outcome. But by using paper pen test, awarding mark, and based on that information, if we are concluding, we are deciding, so definitely that will be faulty. So these are the things. If we have to take high stake decision, then also we have to use multiple approach, mixed method, to come to the conclusion which is nearer to reality. If we use one approach only, so definitely it will not work, or definitely it will be faulty. Based on that information, if we want to take decision, definitely it will be not nearer to reality. So while measuring, while assessing the things, we have to see what are the nature of variable, how we can able to identify attribute from that particular variable, and what will be the approach to assess that particular attribute. In measurement process, value also play very important role. Suppose we have prepared a question, for example, memory level question, and based on that we have awarded mark in 50. We have given 45, 40, 30. Suppose 10 student is there. And another set of tests we have prepared, which is based on understanding or application. In that test, that is also of 50 marks and same student, similar group of students. And they have got 15, 17, 20 maximum. And in first test, they have secure 40, 42, 30. So based on that value, whether we can able to decide which group of student is better. So that is why value, awarding value in a measurement process is also a very disputed kind of thing, because two tests we have taken, and in two tests, if we randomly taken the 10, 15 students, so there is a large difference. And suppose we want to identify, based on this test, we want to identify reading difficulty. We have taken a spelling test, and one paragraph is very easy and another paragraph is tough. So based on that, how we will decide? Based on only spelling, which is not uh, in context with those paragraphs, and randomly based on our understanding, we have taken 50 spelling or 50 word of maybe three alphabet, and another 50 word of 5, 6, 10 alphabets, and we have administer based on that. So definitely this value have no absolute relevance. Definitely there is a we can see in first test they have achieved more, but in second test they have achieved less. Whether based on that value we can decide which test was good or relevant. So that is why we have to fix attribute. We have to segregate attributes from, suppose for example, achievement in English. Both are the tests based on achievement in English, but both have different reference, frame of reference. One test was for maybe lower class, another test was for upper class. But we have given both the test to a particular age of student, and we are concluding based on value award during the measurement process. So that is also disputed and very complex. Suppose we are assessing skill of communication, and based on that we have maybe taken so-called standardized test, but that standardized test have different frame of reference. It has been used in different context, but or it has been used uh, 50 years back, but now context and things were changed. And if we are using that test to decide, so then definitely it will be irrelevant. So that is why awarding value in measurement process is also a complex thing, especially in social science and humanities. In science, there is a international standard. Suppose if you have to use meter scale, it is fixed with the frame of reference, and it is used by all countries. But in social competency, in context of mm, even in our country, there are various e- socio-economic conditions. In Northeast, it is different. In South, it is different. In North, it is different. But if we use same scale of social competency, so definitely it may be faulty. So that is why if we want to improve our system of gathering information, so then we have to identify, we have to segregate specific attribute which is of our focus, and then accordingly we can devise, we can make, we can construct some scale to achieve that, uh, to gather that information. Then it will be of some helpful. It cannot say, or no one can claim, especially in social science and humanity, we can objectively and very accurately we can able to measure, because behavioral or psychological variable, educational variable, social variable is very complex. Even though if we have to fix, if you can able to identify, if you can able to segregate, if you can able to fix indicators, and then based on the nature of that particular variable, if we devise scale, or if we devise assessment technique, then it may be better. So these are the things. But while doing so, suppose we are administering some test, so then also it is the responsibility of test holder, because test holder should be very objective and have better experience. And जिसको हम टेस्ट दे रहे हैं उसको भी वेरी स्पेसिफिकली वी हैव टू इन्फॉर्म कि these are the informations we are collecting to use in a particular context, and we cannot disclose these information to any public domain. And suppose we have follow it very specifically, we have identified also, we have fixed indicators, but then also we have to think while preparing item, it should be gender biased. ऐसा आइटम नहीं होना चाहिए जो कि जेंडर बायस। ज्यादातर ये कंप्लेन मिलता है कि कॉमनली ऑब्जर्व कैन बी कि जब भी आप टेस्ट आइटम देखेंगे यू कैन एबल टू मेक इट आउट कि दिस इज जेंडर बायस, और इट इज मे बी माइनॉरिटी से मान लो पूछेंगे social setup, that also maybe many a times are in particular tribes. Suppose you are conducting some ethnography study, it is very difficult to get information and get correct information. Maybe they are specifying, but how we can ensure what is in their mind is reflecting. Maybe what is correct as per social norm, they will tick that particular option. Maybe many of you will agree with me. Maybe some of you have different opinion based on exposure and experience. So these are the things, and whether the test we have to fix some criteria. If a particular threshold below that we will not accept, above that we can accept. So it depends on purpose. Suppose it will be used in selection process, then you can fix both norm reference as well as criterion and multiple approach, mix approach to get authentic information and to validate the things. So these are the things. This is just my observation, and it is submission uh, to this FDP program. If you have certain observation and question based on this evaluation technique and decision making, so you can
Yeah.
definitely,
Dear
it is
participant, if you
invited.
have any queries, anything, no, you can put up in the chat box fast so that we can take up because your
Yes,
lunch
yes,
time
sir.
will start 1. Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir. It's still 10 minutes. If
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, please put up if some question is there or something so that we can able to answer. The resource person can
yes, sir.
give the answer.
And yes, first we will invite, then sir, if you allow, then I can ask also some question based on their experience. What as a teacher they were
Yeah, yeah,
experiencing
sir.
on their.
You can interact, sir. You can interact in question answer box or chat box. You can put no. Otherwise, you can ask. Then they can answer in the chat box.
So just sir, I am reading out if the participant list some instances, preferably recent, of decisions you made about yourself or others. Please specify. If you recently, if you have taken any decision about yourself, definitely you will not tell accurately, but you can yeah, you can share your experience, uh, whatever decision you have recently taken about your instruction. हाँ आलम जी, हाँ हाँ बस हम थोड़ी देर में आते हैं। हाँ हाँ आ जाएंगे आ जाएंगे। ठीक है सर। हाँ हाँ वो हम लोगों का जो परचेज वाला मैटर है ना सर, हाँ हाँ वो थोड़ा वो करके अभी 9 लाख कितना है, अच्छा हिसाब से हम बना रहे हैं। हाँ तो प्रपोजल रिवाइज कर दीजिए। हाँ ठीक है जी, ठीक, ओके। यस सर, माने कोई भी अभी रिसेंटली जो डिसीजन लिए हों या इवैल्यूएशन ऑफ स्क्रिप्ट में आपका कोई experience, so definitely you can say we can discuss and we can enrich ourselves. Not that I can also get many information and learning from you, because everyone has different perspective as per subject domain area and other. So if anyone want to reflect or anyone want to ask anything related to assessment process, even in context of
Yeah.
then we
The
can.
participant, we
Sir.
if some question, please put up no so that we can take up.
Later on also, if you can share, then definitely we can. I can answer.
Okay. I think,
to
sir,
other needs.
they are clear
Yes,
and there is no much any response from them. So in this
sir.
stage, now almost time is over, only 5 minutes is left.
Sir,
And
sir.
so today, with this, we are closing the second session, sir. Thank you so much,
Okay, sir.
sir, for your valuable time in sharing your experience with us. So once again, thank you so much for associating HRDC Mizoram University, and you shared your
Thank you, sir.
experience.
Thank you. I am privileged to get this opportunity and to reflect with this August audience.
Okay.
Definitely, it is very pleasurable for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
sir,
Thank
end
you,
of
sir.
this month, my office will contact you. Actually, the process is that once the course will complete, this course will over
Okay,
on
sir. Sure.
28, then only they will
Sir.
contact you for the official finalities. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you, sir.
sir.
Thank you
Yeah.
for giving
So,
me opportunity.
dear participant, this is after this there will be a lunch break. 1:30 exactly you will join. As earlier also I told you that your attendance will monitored by the software. Okay, so be alert, because in last if you will say my grade is B, my grade is C, how it becomes, it is not useful, it will be difficult for us. Okay, so be attentive. 5 minutes before you log in and you join. Okay, the next resource
Okay, sir.
person.
So then, can I leave, sir?
Yeah, yeah, sir. You can leave, sir. You can leave.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah. So please take your lunch, and before 1:30 you